Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we are jumping back into this wonderful tournament qualifier game, Game 71. And we've seen some interesting things. So far, we have not seen an Awake expander in this. Some people are doing Scales expansion, some people are doing Bless expansion. We've seen expansion parties die. We've seen people decide, probably shouldn't expand this turn. I'm going to move back into my capital and reinforce instead of potentially losing an army. So, but as we ramp up, this is turn 5 now. We're getting to the point we might see people double expanding this turn. Before, when we saw 2 flags, it was normally somebody pinging with the scout, but we're at the point we might see double expansion. So it's going to be really interesting to see. So start with a message from Vanheim. Well, failing to take the northern farmland sucked. There were just too many furblog warriors there compared to slingers and militia. I really could have used the gold. My prophet has a solid expansion group of 14 Van Hairs, so he should be able to take almost any province with little to no losses. I don't know about this because we saw Vanheim, interestingly, is kind of stuck in a position where there's a lot of elephants and there's a lot of barbarians. And those are things that I'm not sure 14 Van Heers can take. In fact, I'm quite sure they can't. The remains of my starting army plus recruitment from the cap should be able to take on the wolf tribe to the west. Now, this is true. Van Heers, especially once they go berserk, are protection tanks. And protection tanks are very good against wolf tribe. So that's good. Research is going to go towards construction 3 for owl quills and thug gear. Then I will get alteration 3 for thug buffs. Cool. All right. And then we have a message from Helheim. Reduced to recruiting mercs for expansion. The humiliation. Well, good old Hannibal should be able to take out the circle masters, and then maybe I can use him to make taking that farm less awful. In the meantime, the eastern barb stack is just too big to take. So I'll sadly need to reinforce on the Amazons instead of sending out a second party this turn on the eastern barbs. It's looking pretty bad, but the silver lining is an early Jade Amazon fort. Should be pretty good for my super secret, definitely meta bless. Okay, very cool. So we'll start with Vanheim. Vanheim again trying to recover from losing an expansion party last turn. And this is 14 Van Heers with this prophet. So this should be no problem at all. I thought he said he was going for Wolf Tribe, but it looks like he made a decision to go after some easier folks. Unless he's double expanding somehow. I think this must be a ping. Yeah, he's seeing how many elephants. Jesus. Guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, 12. This is 12 elephants. This will butcher Van Heers. This is going to be such a hard province to take. I hope this gets the adequate respect. I mean, I kind of also hope we see another expansion party die, but that is spooky. All right, and now we have Helheim riding out again, so let's see what they do. Niflheim maybe tied for lowest on the province graph. Now he's got 5. Oh, okay. So that makes... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that was close. That was real close. That was very close. Oh my gosh. That prophet got so close to being yoinked. But he did it. So the Nipple Giants, let's watch this again. We weren't even watching the Nipple Giants. I was so worried about the prophet here. But they do pretty well against barbarians because though they have a lot of protection, they're also defense tanks. So this guy's going to have a hard day of it. He's probably going to die. No, he survived. Very close. This guy could have died, but that's really only because he was surrounded. The guys who aren't surrounded are really not going to die to barbs. So, yeah. And that's largely not just the fact they're taking more damage from being surrounded, but it's also the fact they're defense tanking. Because Niffle Giants, the militia of the giant world, they have very good attack and defense, not just good protection and HP. So they're not just protection tanks. Okay, so that was these guys. We need to do, Helheim. So Helheim with... They're pinging now the elephant province. So I think this is fewer elephants. This is 10. Yeah, the other place had 12. If we look at, was it this one? 12. And then we'll see this is their actual expansion. So I think they're going on the Jade Amazons here. And they've combined forces, which makes sense. I think they might have overcompensated here a tiny bit, but these Jade Amazons, like the Jade Maidens, excuse me, are very tough. The glamour is definitely helping there. I think they kind of mistimed the attack of these guys. They probably should have gone in a bit sooner. He's probably going to take a few, like 2 or 3 more losses than maybe he could have. But yeah, you definitely want to hit this. Like, he gave this province adequate respect, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. He probably could have taken like 2 or 3 fewer losses, but this is pretty good. I don't think he could have split. I think if he sent smaller amount of stuff, he probably would have died. Like, he wanted to do double expansion. I don't think that would have worked. So I think they made the right call here. The problem, though, is they've now realized there's barbarians over this way. So I'm sure we're going to get a message where he laments finding 2 more barbarian provinces that are kind of gating him in. But I don't think this is really that bad. There's a few things, by the way, Helheim can do. With this many barbarian provinces, they can make a lot of these guys, which have glamour. And they have javelins, which is quite nice. And then they could make, if they have like indie slingers or something, those are pretty good against barbs. But I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking Helheim had actually like a ranged unit, like a slinger. But they don't. So, yeah, I think they've got tough decisions. I think this would be suicide. This is a bad idea. I think they could maybe... 60 guys. How many are actually here? Surf Warriors don't have glamour. The Huskarls do. I think they could take the Barb province, but have a bit of losses. I think that's probably the right move, and then break out and settle a border down here. If they're very conservative, they may want to go back to their cap. Elephant Riders? Wait, what? What? How are there Elephant Riders in their capital? Did I don't know. Oh, that's Hannibal. He got the Merc. Okay. So I guess he didn't send the Merc out, but he bid on them. Which is a little strange, but where's he going to use that? What did he say in his message? The Circle Master. So he's going to use them up here. This is a lot of guys. I'm not actually sure the elephants are going to clear them. I think I would send them as a support. Maybe it's like a flanking support even, and try to kill the mages in the back while you have other guys in front draw the melee. I think that's probably the safer move. I think the elephants will fail. And it'd be nice to get a couple turns out of them. Like use them here and then send them over here, send them down here. So, and you have to be careful if you're using them with your other guys, they can rout and kill your own dudes. So that's that. Next up we have Mone. Mone. So this is a new expansion party. It doesn't have the humans. So he's doing advance and cast. These guys are getting picked apart. That was kind of cool. Very few losses. Lost 1 human troop. And then down here, this should be his main party. And he found an easy province to take. So that's nice. So Mone putting stuff on the board right now, looking very sharp. Double expanding. So far, I think Hinnam's going to be top of the graphs. Mone, yeah. Looks like it's Mone and Muspelheim at the top. I love they put these tags on them. That's great. Speaking of Muspelheim, let's see how they expanded. It looks like we got a double expansion from them. Very nice. And then down here, Cloud Breakers. Okay, very solid double expansion. So let's take a look at Muspelheim. The only kind of bad thing is this guy's sort of trapped in. I don't think maybe he can move here, and then maybe this guy can move here. So we'll see. I mean, it's a high mobility nation, so presumably they can sort this out, but they're sort of got both their guys backed into a corner, which isn't great. But they've got 3 of their cap circle cleared, which I think is the most of anybody. So they're going to have a ton of resources pouring into the capital. So it's going to be fun seeing all the Niffle Giants come out. Or Niffle, the Muspel Giants. Helheim also came up here, and he went after... Oh, did we? I think we watched this, right? We might not have. No, I think we did. Yeah, we did. This was where the hearse was almost killed, and these Jotun warriors died defending the hearse, which is quite good they did. So yeah, they've got a bunch of places they can go. They can come down here. What's he making? 2 more Niffle Giants. Yeah, we'll have to see. That is one thing, is that it can feel sort of slow getting going. And it kind of feels bad. Like you kind of want to, as Niflheim, to make like expand with Niffle Jarls, just because like it feels really good making these, even though they're super expensive. So you kind of can't at the beginning. And it kind of sucks to have these guys, but then to have like a weak link, right? Which would be the Hearse or the Jode. So I guess it has to be the Jode, but or Yode. But yeah, so you make these guys and expand. You kind of want to do it with these who feel like they're not going to die. But these guys actually can probably solo expand in some cases, certainly to easy provinces with this Bless and the Cold. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to see what they do. But they're definitely, I think they're the lowest. I think they and Vanheim might be the lowest. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they recover. I think it's sort of easier for Vanheim to recover just because, like Niflheim, it feels like you really need some momentum. Like just having enough income to make all the giants is pretty tough. So it's not just about collecting resources. You also need like enough income just to like start maxing out cap production. And they don't have that yet. They've got their expander outside searching. A little dangerous potentially, having a rainbow. Oh, but they found a ton of sites. Oh my god. Look at this. Very cool. There's 2 population growth provinces here. If only we're a better province. Or population growth sites. Oh, with an enchantment bonus 20. This actually can be quite nice on Niflheim, who has really good long dead. So you could do reanimation here. That's definitely something I would think about. So yeah, very cool. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Turn 6. All right, and we have turn 6. No messages. So we will start in the order they go with Niflheim. So this is the same expansion party. You can see these lizards are very killy. This guy may die. But he may have been putting them to sleep now. He's at 14 hit points. I'm worried the Crocs are going to kill him. I think he's dead because these guys aren't asleep yet. This guy's toast. Yeah. So you can see the way these guys die actually is by getting surrounded on the corners. But this is, you feel these losses. Like, it's like, oh, the last one guy. This, you feel this. This matters. Let's look at it again. I kind of want to see if I can figure out anything to do differently. I mean, he did get the full surround, right? Like, it's not just here, right? But they're on this side, too. So he's got 4 tiles attacking him, and then potentially 5 if somebody stepped in here. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know if... I think... Can Niflheim do line formations? I can't remember. Nope, he can't. Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky. It's hard to prevent that surround with so few guys. Next, we'll see if Vanheim is kicking it into gear. Vanheim, I think, had the hardest start in terms of indies. But they are dodging them. Which means they basically have to be expanding northward, because they're basically fully blocked to the south. Unless he's going after barbs. Now, these are Wolf Tribe, so these are really good for Vanheim to go after. Because very good at protection tanking these days. Wolf Tribe are hard to defense tank. So Vanheim had been in the back of the pack for expansion, but doing a double expansion here should certainly help prop them up. Certainly considering that Niflheim only single expanded. So Niflheim is now the last in expansion, despite the fact that they took basically a Hellbless. Okay, there's a battle here in Behemoth's Rest. And this might as well be an infinite number of giants. These guys are just going to murder everything. And then a battle here for Mone. So Mone, top of the pack for expansion, doing this kind of interesting thing where he does Stone Skin and then... Oh, he was doing Advance and Cast. Huh. It looks like he did. He was on Advance and Cast, but for some reason... Okay, I think I know what this was. I think what he did was he's like, hey, I don't want to shoot firebolts from far away. So he does a buff, and then he does a scripted attack once, or maybe twice, to try to get him in melee range, and then for him to Fire Blast. Which... That makes sense. That's actually really cool. These guys are combat casters, so they're good at casting in melee. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think ideally you don't want him to be so vulnerable in the front if you got really unlucky, especially against like barbs. But against humans like that, it's kind of fine. Normal like indie troops. And this is the first expansion party. These guys have been going strong. Mithone gets a great starting army. Okay, so the humans routed, and they do make it off the field. But he's gotten so much value out of these humans, and I have a feeling they're going to keep going if he can find easy provinces now. And he's in Muspelheim's cap circle. Not cap circle, but he's adjacent to it. This is one of the problems about like slow expanding. So first of all, these guys have like a beeline over here. It's crazy how fast they've gone. This gives Muspelheim very, very like tough decisions, right? Because they haven't been rapid expanding. They have to decide what to do. You don't want them taking the farmland. So it's like, do you defend here? Are you starting to do PD dumps? Guys, it's turn 6. These caps are far away from each other. Normally, if this were like a normal map nuke map, it'd be a cap here and then a cap here with 3 provinces in between. So instead of 3 provinces in between, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this, 5 provinces in between. So it's 2 extra. So it's a lot longer rush distance. So despite that, on turn 6, this guy is breathing down Muspelheim's neck. And this really is an invitation that's like, hey, I'm going to fight you. Like, this is an extremely aggressive move. This is one of the areas that Muspelheim definitely should consider in their domain. So he's basically declared war on Muspelheim. Knowing this, as Muspelheim, you have decisions. How do you defend this province? How do you defend this province? This place basically declared war on you by taking this province. So you would probably assume they're going to attack you. This is horrible, right? Because you want to expand. But now you're going to have to like potentially defend these 2 provinces. One move is to just map move 2 here and attack with your Muspel Giants. They should butcher everything. The Locos are good, and enough of them could kill him, but like 5 Muspel Giants should blender the Locos. Or the Gigante Ecdromos. So that's an option. You could also just be like, hey, these guys are kind of weak. They're beat up. I doubt they're going to attack me, and then move and attack here. Or something. But this is a little wild. I think, so Mone has interesting moves. Heat, temperature, there's heat scales here, but not heat scales here. So this mountain pass is closed. But this would be an easy province to take. Blowpipes are really bad. This would be a really hard province to take. Yeah, so this is a really interesting situation for Mone because there's not really any good provinces they can take. This one, yeah, forget about it. There's no way they're going to take this. Unlikely they'll be able to take this. It's possible they would, but it's very likely they would die. This province they can't get to. So then they have these 2 or backtrack. One option is they just say, hey, I'll let you take this for free. We can establish borders. I'm going to go fight whoever's to my north. Just let me hold on to this for like 5 turns to trace a bit of income, and then we can have a nap and we'll agree on borders. That could work. In which case, you can start routing these guys back and maybe pick up this province or something, right? Because this might have mages. A lot of times these heavy infantry slinger provinces have mages, so you could like ping it. But, I think that would be reasonable. Or you stay here, assuming he's going to attack you and do a PD dump and try to kill what he sends. The problem is, if he attacks with like 8 Muspel Giants and like 10 Huskarls, I don't think a PD dump's going to matter. The Muspel Giants will just murder the PD, I think. The good thing is we're heading into winter. The good thing for Mone, they're heading into winter. So especially once things turn cold, especially if he can get his Dominion there, which... it's got Gria's Dominion, which is Mone. So Macone's Dominion is here, but Macone's also probably Heat. Yeah, Heat 1. He could preach here, try to keep his Dominion here to keep Muspelheims from pushing in, then fight him in like only Heat 1 or like neutral temperatures in the winter. This seems very risky to me. And if you look at the supply line Mone has, he doesn't really have the ability, aside from like PD dumps, to protect this. And PDs in general, especially what kind of PD we get here. This is bad PD. So I don't think he really has the ability to defend this, and he's basically picked a war. So I'm going to be really interested to see what happens. I think the Jedi play from Mone would be convince these guys to let you hold it, and then you'll give it to them with 1 PD. Otherwise, you can like maybe do an extremely massive PD dump or something, you know, and then maybe supported by this guy, the mage. Or was this the prophet? Yeah, this is the prophet. Maybe supported by the prophet and a big enough PD dump with having some of the Gigante Dromos. Maybe he could hold this. So there's some reason for Muspelheim to negotiate, especially since they're kind of slow and expanding a bit, to have a secure border through which they can go attack their other neighbor. I think that would be the Jedi play. That'd be best for both players. I think getting into war this early is also really destructive for both players. If Mone was truly hyper expanding, I think it would be different. But like this, I think this is a bit of a mistake, because for him, like if Muspelheim just marches here and takes this and then takes this and takes this, you know, like maybe you can defend them here when they get here, but you're going to give up 2 provinces. It's going to cost you defending this, even in like 2 or 3 turns from now. It's going to cost you expansion elsewhere. So I think this is too early for a war to be starting, but war has basically been declared. All right, we'll keep moving. We watch these, right? We watched that. Did we watch these? I think we watched these. Yeah, the Wolf Tribe, we watched that. We watched, okay, and then Muspelheim, and then Mone. So this is pretty standard. I don't think there's much worth watching here. This one we'll just see, just to see what their other expansion party is. Oh, wait, no, this was the one this was the original expansion party. So he's basically gone after 2 easy provinces there. It looks like this first one I said we wouldn't watch, we now are. Yeah, he's trying to advance and cast, but he's getting a little too tied up in melee. And combat, look, Illwinter, if you're watching this, I think you can buff combat caster. This could be like 75%. Like combat caster, I feel like in general it'd be cool if it was like if there was an item for combat caster, that could be some cool shit, right? And I think combat caster should be 75. I think it should be way higher. It would be a lot cooler. Like, you saw this. Like, he was in melee, and then how many times did he poke somebody? He was on advance and cast. So poke 1, poke 2, poke 3, and only did he cast when he got out. Now, that could have been bad RNG, but... And it's possible he is scripted. Like, attack, 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 advance and cast. I'm guessing it was just like attack once or attack twice and advance and cast. So anyway, would be cool to see combat caster get buffed. It's a really cool tag. It would just be nice to see it stronger. Okay, so he's expanded clearing his cap circle now, but wait, didn't he have this already? Maybe not. But hasn't expanded at all towards Vanheim, which is lucky for him because Vanheim is totally blocked from expanding to the south. And that's the other thing, is that if he picks a war with Muspelheim, which he sort of has, Muspelheim can like expand this way, but like Vanheim's kind of blocked. It would be a lot better for him to be friendly with Muspelheim for a bit and then see how much of this stuff he can get. Okay, and we watched Vanheim, Helheim. They have been entertaining. So Helheim also with pretty tough indies. Oh, Hannibal's got a lot more mercs. Holy shit, I didn't realize he got this many. It used to be 5. Wow, they really are not bothered. I love how the elephant, like the archers on the elephant shoot now. That's so cool. 2 elephant archers. Oh, and he still failed. Oh, barely. Oh, they didn't make it off the field, so he got to keep some of them. That was very lucky. So he got to keep 5 of them, which is pretty good. And then we'll look at the other one for Helheim. Oh, I don't like this. It might work. That's a lot of barbs. It's like 80. I think this could work. I think this is going to work. It's close, though. Yeah. So let's take a look at the Butcher's Ledger here. So he lost 3 Huskarls, but yeah, he lost the Surf Warriors. So this is sort of what you'd expect. These Surf Warriors do not have glamour, and they don't have especially high defense, whereas these guys have really high defense. So basically, he didn't lose that much of the stuff he's going to need against barbs. But the Surf Warriors, it's nice that you don't want to be too surrounded by the barbs either. So it's good that he brought them. But I think the maybe the only mistake I could point out is I think he put them in the same. No, he didn't. I was thinking he put them in the same squad here. Did these guys also route, or was it just the Surf Warriors? Okay, it was just the Surf Warriors. So that's fine. The Surf Warriors routed. They did their job. This was actually pretty good. Okay, so a nice solid double expansion from Helheim. Let's take a look at the score graphs as we close out here. So provinces, we've got Mone in first place, but this is a little tenuous because they've kind of maybe overexpanded a bit in one direction. Helheim and Muspelheim next. Vanheim pulled ahead of Niflheim. Forts, okay, income. We've got Muspelheim and Mone at top position. Helheim also is site searching, which I think this could be good if they're doing reanimation, especially since they found that reanimation site. But I think you like lab that and do that right away if you can. Otherwise, these guys went down. It looks like this might have been a gym event. Mone, top of research. And most people not really researching. Dominion, army size. Okay. Well, cool. All right. Very interesting. I think we're at 27 minutes. So we'll go ahead and call it here. And we will see you in the next episode. See you then.